everyone. Wanted to jump on here and do what I could with the snow and ice and nasty weather that we received overnight. The power has been kind of iffy all day. It's been flickering. And then, I mean, flickering. The lights have been like almost put you in a seizure flickering and pretty dim. So hopefully I can get this recorded and done and put out. I hope everybody that got hit with this storm is warm and safe and travel safe. I normally am in Tennessee. I live in Tennessee, but I travel a lot to Indiana, which is where I'm at right now. And I know Tennessee got hit too, but theirs was more ice. And ice there is bad. They don't salt and do what they do here. They're not equipped to deal with this kind of weather. So I hope everybody in Tennessee is safe and warm and stays home. And if it's normal Tennessee, within a day or two, it warms up and it'll all be gone, hopefully. So all my love to the people in Tennessee and hope you guys are all safe and warm. Now, let's get to that ridiculous IRS letter to Erika. For starters, as I've already been saying, they are messy. And messy requires so much damage control. And it only appears to make it messier for them. The more damage control that they try to do, it's messier and bigger. The lies and the covering of the lie, and it's just a big circle of mess. It's nothing but a mess. And the way they released it. Again, Gary at Paramount. Guess they didn't learn the first go round when they were trying to get their alibis, and that was all bullshit too, in my opinion. Out when he read it live and shared the actual screen while being told to please not share. I guess, they didn't learn from that. So they want to do it a second time and brought on another person to make it look a little bit better, I reckon. They think we're stupid. Yeah. So, yeah, they think that we come off stupid to them, and we're not going to quit. We don't believe you. It's almost comical if not for the fact that, someone died a horrific death right in front of everybody. It would almost be comical. And in my opinion, she is going to see to it that TPUSA is destroyed. She is doing such a horrible job. Horrible job at it. I mean, she is not meant for this. It's at least not in the direction that her husband wanted it to go. But that's just my opinion. And I think probably everybody else that wasn't involved in his death, their opinion as well. So, and then I hope y'all watch Wolves in Finance, because he puts out really good videos and he's doing a lot of great work with uncovering a lot of shady shit with TPUSA and their finances. And again, messy. It's messy. Just messy. And then I actually came across the motion that was filed for the victim's right to the speedy trial, which I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought defendants only had a right to speedy trials. Apparently in Utah, that's a thing. And then to actually say that the defense is purposely taking their time, that's kind of unreal. Unrealistic, too. Last I checked, it's a nightmare of bullshit to weed through. And it appears, allegedly, in my opinion, they are like everything they want done speedy. Everything done quick. Get it over with. And that goes from poor Charlie being lugged out of that crime scene to the destruction of that crime scene, the paving over of the crime scene. I've never seen anything get done so fast. Down to all the destruction of Charlie's legacy. And that is happening with the quickness too. And now they just want, get the trial over with, put a bow on it, and Charlie's last chapter is done. Wonder if that will be the famous last chapter in the book. I say all this as in a way it all appears to me. And like I said, it appears to everybody else that probably wasn't involved in the death as well, because we're not dumb. We're not stupid, and we're not going to quit. We will keep digging. I will go to Utah. I will stand. I will sit in that courtroom. I will do whatever has to be done. I will interview people. Nobody's quitting. Candace is not going to quit. She's my hero. Baron, I absolutely love Baron. Baron rocks. I've been watching Baron since he started. He brings such great content and information into this, and humor and personality. And him and Candace are like yin and yang. I love it. I love it. And I love Candace's perseverance and stick to it. She's amazing. And there's a lot of other amazing people too. Ian Carroll, he is amazing. I love Valhalla. I could go on, but I think you get it. Oh, and apparently I found out through comments that my daughter sent a message to Baron, I believe. And I got quite a few new subscribers through it. She's so sweet. And thank you all for coming over and checking me out. I do appreciate it, and I hope you stick around because I think we'll have fun. Eventually, I'll start going live. I haven't because obviously I'm new and, awkward to go live and not have anybody to interact with, but I definitely am looking forward to doing it. And thank you for everybody that came over, and my daughter's the best. She really is. But I want to bring up this Erika IRS letter and let you see it. None of that's weird, right? Marked out, Erika, the Mrs. part. I'm going to replay it. Yeah, I call bullshit. I mean, that's just weird. Who thought of that? Who thought that would be such a great idea? And who thought that, well, everybody's so stupid they'll believe it. It's a fake IRS letter, in my opinion. It's funny. And I mean, it's funny in the way that they're scrambling and how messy they are. It's not funny, obviously, because there was a horrific death that caused it, but they look so stupid running around. I mean, it's wave after wave of covering shit up and cleaning up their messes, and they're never going to get it right because only the truth is easy. Lies are messy. And then this is the motion for the Speedy trial. Let me see if I can make that bigger. So comes now Erika Kirk through undersigned counsel and hereby asserts, let me see. You and I can't see that. Asserts her rights under Utah code as the victim representative to a speedy trial Nobody believed in the importance of the United States Constitution more than Charlie Kirk. And although the United States Constitution guarantees criminal defendants many rights, it does not guarantee them the right to cause undue delay in the criminal justice process. The defendant, in this case, is entitled to a fair trial, and he must be given one. But he is not entitled to cause undue delay in the criminal justice process. The Utah Code affords victims of a crime the right to a speedy disposition of the charges, free from unwarranted delay caused by or at the behest of the defendant, and due to prompt final conclusions of the case after disposition or conviction and sentence, including prompt and final conclusion and collateral attacks and dispositions of the criminal judgments. The court is tasked with critically important function of ensuring the defendant has a fair trial, but this court must also do while balancing Mrs. Kirk's right to a speedy trial, and therefore the notice invokes Mrs. Kirk's rights under applicable Utah Code. Again, ick. Gives me the ick. Everything's speedy. Wrap it up and put a bow on it so that we can move on and be done with that mess. It's disgusting. It really is. And then I told you I've been doing a lot of digging into the group homes in Arizona that are independently owned. I mean, and when I say independently, I mean slap an LLC on and grab you some kids and get funding for it. So I have a whole, I mean, it's a big rabbit hole, but some of this I just had to let go because sometimes you just got to talk about stuff. And this is yucky. It's yucky. It's about kids, and it's always yucky when it's about kids. So, but I do believe this is all going to tie in a weird way to some really weird shit. And I would like to say that it would be surprising, but I don't think at this point anything surprises us anymore. So I have a video of, let me see if I can get this.
More serious questions tonight about Arizona's foster care system and new allegations that it's failing to protect children.
The ABC 15 investigators have learned a 15-year-old boy recently died while in DCS custody. This is now the second child with type 1 diabetes to die in the state's care. ABC 15 investigator Jennifer Kovaleski has done multiple reports exposing concerns about the Department of Child Safety. Tonight, she has the new calls for accountability.
Once a week, Bobby and DeForest Williams come to this spot.
Christian's grave site.
This section of grass.
Just so he knows that I'm here.
It's their way of connecting with their son.
How are you doing?
Taking it day by day.
Yeah. It's been a hard week.
Medical location your emergency. Other youth that's refusing insulin and seeking medical help or anywhere not even where there's on the floor.
This 911 call happened 2 months ago. A call for help that still haunts the Williams family.
Yeah, he's not even ran to the bathroom.
They could have called sooner. They fell less.
A call that was ultimately too late to save 15-year-old Christian Williams' life.
He's like making us down. He's like dead on the floor.
A type 1 diabetic, Christian was found unconscious inside this Mesa group home.
They assumed because he has behavioral issues that he was faking.
And he was seeking attention.
But records show they were wrong. Body camera video obtained by the ABC 15 investigators takes us inside the Mesa Police and Fire Response. The videos bring into question whether group home staff were properly trained to manage Christian's diabetes.
So now he's complaining that he's dead on the floor.
He's saying what?
He's dead on the floor. He's fine. He's holding his breath.
Okay.
But once officers and paramedics get inside, the situation quickly escalates. These videos may be hard to watch, but it's important. You see what happened. This Mesa Police report documented the critical emergency. According to the report, Christian's lips appeared blue, and his eyes were barely open. Paramedics began conducting chest compressions. After it was discovered he was not breathing.
It was very hard for me to watch those videos and to read what happened.
Christian died at the hospital a few days later. His cause of death, diabetic ketoacidosis, a preventable condition caused by not having enough insulin. This is the last photo Bobby has with her son.
I lost my baby. He was my firstborn. I'll never get him back. This is all I have. Memories.
Christian lived with his parents his whole life, except the last 7 months. As Christian got older, he started struggling with mental health, and his family turned to the Arizona Department of Child Safety for help.
We were told that they had more resources than what we were able to do ourselves.
We trusted the Department of Child Safety. He was in their care. And I beat myself up every day, make a decision.
And this document only amplifies the family's anger and frustration. It's the incident report from Catalyst Community Corporation, the group home where Christian was living. The report says weeks before Christian's death, managers held an emergency child and family team meeting with DCS, where they said Christian was in need of a higher level of care due to his medical concerns and mental health. But while the team was in agreement, there was no progress on making these changes.
What would you want to say to the Department of Child Safety?
How could you?
And here's another telling piece of information. It was the second time in 2 weeks. Records show Christian needed emergency help for his diabetes while at this group home.
I said, what's it going to take for my son to die? And then 2 weeks later, they get that call.
And this isn't the first time a child with type 1 diabetes has died in the state's care.
An emotional grandmother demanding accountability after the death of her diabetic grandson.
As we previously reported, back in December of 2022, 9-year-old Jacob Blodgett died just 18 days after being placed in DCS custody.
Jacob didn't deserve this.
Jacob, a type 1 diabetic, was also allowed to refuse his life-saving medication at another group contracted by the state.
Why didn't you learn the first time? Why didn't you change then?
It's the Arizona Department of Child Safety job to protect the state's most vulnerable children, and DCS pays group homes to take care of kids like Christian.
This is the Department of Child Safety, and they've lost sight of the children and the concept of safety.
Attorney Robert Pastor has filed a lawsuit against DCS and the group home in Jacob's case, and now represents the Williams family.
It's utter disgust. Like, you did this again. What is wrong with you?
And under the state's contract with Catalyst Community Corporation, the rules say the group home must ensure that each child in care receives all prescribed medication at the prescribed time and in the prescribed dose. Pastor says DCS is also responsible for assessing a child's medical needs and making sure the home where they are placed can manage their condition.
Instead, they sat there and said, "Oh, he's faking it," and they were dead wrong. Unfortunately, that meant Christian died.
For more than a year, the ABC 15 investigators have asked DCS what changes have been made to prevent another tragedy, but DCS has refused to answer that question.
Here are two kids who are dead. Do we need a third?
He was a caring, loving child.
The Williams family is telling their story in hopes that no other family will have to go through their pain.
It's not fair for a mother to go to a graveside and eat her lunch with their son.
The family's attorney just served the state and DCS with a notice of claim on Friday. This is the precursor to a lawsuit. We wanted to take our questions directly to DCS, but the agency declined our request for an on-camera interview. But DCS did say in a statement, in part, in response to this tragedy, the department is currently investigating this incident as well as reviewing licensing rules to determine if anything different can be done to better understand and care for youth facing extreme health challenges. We've been told the findings of this investigation will be made public. Finally, we called and sent multiple emails to the group home, but have not received a response by our deadline. We will continue asking questions, and our reporting will continue. I'm Investigator Jennifer Kovaleski, ABC 15, Arizona.
ABC 15 has made the governor's office aware of this tragedy. Governor Hobbs would not speak with us on camera or over the phone, but a spokesperson gave a statement saying Hobbs is committed to protecting the health and wellness of every Arizonan, especially vulnerable children like Christian and every child in DCS. But this investigation is just getting started, and ABC 15 investigator Jennifer Kovaleski is not done asking questions. She'll continue working to get answers and hold the state accountable for what happened.
So, yeah. And the group home that Jacob Blodgett was in was Sunshine Residential, which I covered in one of my last videos. Sadly. The amount of deaths that are coming out of Sunshine in particular, that also leads back to Marion, Indiana, here where I'm at, with Zach Blossom as being operations director. He was for the place here and there in Arizona. And it's just one child death right after another. And of course, they don't want to talk about it. It's all, and as far as the governor doing anything, she received a nice big fat $400,000 campaign donation. So they received special treatment, in my opinion, allegedly. And then we have, I want to show you a couple, I mean, it's ridiculous. One group home in particular last year had 30 kids run away from it. 30. And currently right now, there's still one missing that's never been found. And mind you, these are independently owned group homes. Independently. People are just able to go slap an LLC or ink on it and, you know, have money and put $400,000 at, you know, somebody's campaign, and there you go. Do what you got to do, people. So this is January 2023. The bodies of 17-year-old Satalia Avalar and 15-year-old Cameron Myers were discovered in the water retention basin in Mesa, Arizona, roughly 2 weeks after they ran away from their group home. Common theme, they run away. Incident details: disappearance of girls were reported runaways on January 7, 2023. Staff at their facility had overheard them planning to leave the day before and attempted to persuade them to stay. So I'm thinking you don't attempt to persuade them to stay. I'm thinking you contact their DCS worker and report it as an issue. It sounds like bullshit to me, but what do I know? The discovery on January 21st, 2023, a man walking his dog spotted what he initially thought was a mannequin in the water basin. Responding officers confirmed it was a body and quickly located the second body nearby. And the cause of death, supposedly, and these two girls was acute alcohol intoxication as the primary factor, and Myers also showed signs of recent marijuana use. And that's Powerhouse Youth Facility, Inc. So it begs to question, where were they getting alcohol? Where were they getting marijuana? And why is it every teen girl that runs away from these homes turn up dead within days? And then we have a governor that is getting mega campaign donations and showing favoritism to some of these particular group homes, in my opinion. And I didn't stop there. I know who the owners are of the group homes. I'm not quite at a point where I'm able to release that without knowing that I can. But all I can say is there seems to be a pretty big connection. It's very ironic. And then these two, Emily Pike was living at Sacred Journey group home in Mesa, Arizona at the time she went missing, and was subsequently found murdered in February 2025. She was 14. She was in custody of the San Carlos Apache tribe and placed in Sacred Journey group home in Mesa, from which she ran away multiple times before her death. Rebecca Baptiste, 10. According to the state records, Rebecca was not in the group home when she died. She and her siblings were living with their biological father, Richard Baptiste, and his girlfriend. And I do believe they have been arrested for her death. And then we have Zariah Dodd and Sarah Beth. So, which I did a video on this already, but it just blew me that no matter which group home I bring up, there's always deaths associated or abuse or some kind of allegations. And we're talking about death. These are kids in the worst possible circumstances and situation. And it's convenient that the moment they run away, their lives are over. And I don't remember which one of the two. I believe it was Zariah that was pregnant. I believe it was Zariah was pregnant 6 months. And, obviously the baby was killed too. But they're claiming that she was impregnated by a 36-year-old man. There's really no words. And I could go on for days and days and days and bring up group home after group home. And look, I'm not naive. I know that these are troubled kids. And not everything's going to always be perfect. But there is a pattern here. And it's a big one. And it's an ugly one. So all these girls have ran away and all of them turned up dead. And there's more. Plenty more. It just takes a lot of research. And like I said, I'm digging into who the owners are. And like I found the connection between Indiana and Arizona. So when they get shut down, they go to another place. And then somebody else opens up an LLC. And this is what it appears to be like to me, in my opinion, allegedly. I don't think we can count on the governor to do a whole lot. And DCS, they're just kidnapping the kids. That's all they do. They kidnap kids and they hope to keep them away from the parents instead of reunification for the period of time to where they can terminate the parental rights. And then these people can do what they want how they want, whenever they want with these kids. And it's ironic that, you know, these particular group homes are one's asking for girls only. They got to be certain age range, 9 to 14, some of them up to 18. And I don't know. In my opinion, that sounds like it's consistent with trafficking, and, you know, Fort Huachuca's right there and the border's right there. It's disgusting. And like, I mean, like I always say, silence is complicity. We have to speak up, and I'm going to continue to speak up. And even if I like going to Utah, if I got to go to Arizona and get boots on the ground and start digging into what the hell is going on in Arizona, and it's happening in other places too. But Arizona, I started with for a reason. And I think the conclusion will show that ultimately. But anyways, I've kept you on here long enough, and I know it's getting late. I made it through with just a couple flickers of the power. I hope you enjoyed it. And I want to thank you again for everybody that came over and subscribed because of my daughter. I love her, and I love you guys, and thank you for coming and checking me out. I hope you enjoy it and continue to stay. I would like for you to stay. Please do. And we will just keep raising all the issues that we can do. That's all we can do. I hope you all have a good night, and everybody stay safe and warm. And I will see you again hopefully tomorrow. Good night.